Hello everyone and welcome back. Hope things are well. Netherlands tonight will be at the fan zone in Newcastle. Vlog, can England go all the way to play Spain in the final at the Euros? Stay tuned, that'll be on the channel later, but of course, different topic now, the topic of Newcastle United, and in this case, the topic of Amanda Staveley. Bombshell article has been dropped just before on social media. Amanda Staveley is set to leave Newcastle United. So we're here in this video to talk you through it all. Straight away, I can imagine you guys are probably crapping yourselves. Some of you are question going, oh my god, is this the end of Newcastle's playoff takeover? No, I want to make it clear straight away, no. This was always supposed to happen. I don't know if it was supposed to happen this summer, but it was always supposed to happen where Amanda Staveley would be here on a short-term basis. You've got to look at her and her finances. She has no money compared to the PAF. She has no money even compared to the Ruben boys never in the PAF. So Amanda's job was always to facilitate the takeover of Newcastle United. She'll come in on a short-term basis. She'll do her day-to-day duties. And once the time is right, once the correct people are involved, remember Amanda is good at what she does, but is not as qualified as the sporting director, Paul Mitchell, for example. She's not as qualified as our footballing minds that you can actually get into the job. So on a short-term basis, she would come on a day-to-day duties with Newcastle, make sure everything is operating the way they're supposed to, and then when the time's right, she'll sell her shares up, which has already been done bits of last season. I made videos on this before where Amanda has started to sell some of her shares in Newcastle United, and now it seems like that she seems ready to go. So she'll sell all her shares up to the playoff, then she'll go on her way, and that would help us long term, because Amanda Staveley straight away does not have any money. She doesn't have any money to pump in the football club. She's quite literally there just to do her day-to-day jobs, which we can get somebody else to come and do anyway, and that's the PAS plan. That's always been the PAS plan. So that's actually better for us long term. Obviously, you would like to have seen her with the women's team. Would like to have seen her with Newcastle. I think it's always I think especially with you guys watching, there's always like a beacon of hope almost when you see Amanda, you see Mehrdad at the games. It makes people feel happy. Obviously, compare that to Mike Ashley, that was always going to be an improvement. But the reality is, we don't need her. To be as brutal as possible, we don't need her now. On a bit of a personal level for Amanda, there are a few things that we do need to talk about when you talk about potentially has this happened earlier than it's supposed to. Straight away, Amanda's been involved with a couple of court cases recently. Obviously, she's lost quite a big one with a Greek tycoon, being forced to pay over £3.5 million, and that's on top of all the court fees that she's actually owed the court as well. So she's lost a lot of money there. That's a big court case for her, and she's lost it. On top of that, she's obviously been involved with stuff with the Barclays before. She's been involved with a few different court cases where, at the time now, that's a lot of money to lose. So when that money's went, it's forced her almost that she may have to sell her shares a bit earlier just to make sure that she can actually afford everything. She also has something called Huntington's disease. So basically what that is nerve cells inside her brain will gradually die off over time. So if you're talking about a long-term project with Newcastle over 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, as horrible as it is, the serious thing is Amanda could potentially be quite ill at that time. So that's someone that is progressive. It doesn't get better for her, and with her health condition, she can't really be at Newcastle for over 10, 15 years. That is a concern. So straight away, again, she understands that. And it's one of them ones where, for the best interest of Newcastle, for the best interest of you guys watching this video, she does have to go eventually. If you wanted my honest opinion on it, I feel like, less than 3 years after the takeover, it feels quite soon to be here and stuff like this. I thought it would have been a bit longer. I think when you watch Amanda's first interview when she comes at Newcastle United, she talks quite a lot about a 5-year plan. 5 years, you want to win the Premier League, want to do this, want to do that. She talked quite a lot about a 5-year plan. So my impression is that she probably would have been around for that 5 years, and then she would have sold her shares after 5 years to pay for her the full control over Newcastle alongside the Ruben brothers, and then they will invest heavily into the club. Amanda, on a short-term basis, was just making sure all the rules were followed in the Premier League, making sure that on the day-to-day duties, the players were doing what they were supposed to. Eddie Howe was settling, the staff members are doing their job correctly, and it was just her facilitating the club and making sure that when she does eventually leave, everything's running smoothly, the correct people are appointed to do their jobs. And it feels like now she's either satisfied with that, or she's been forced to do that because of potential other factors behind that. Maybe, again, the loss of finances has forced her to sell a little earlier than expected. But it's come to that time now where the impression is on social media by journalists that she's set to leave, she's set to go out. When you talk about Amanda and her time at the football club, she's done exactly everything that she set out to do. Her main goal was to approve this takeover by the Premier League. She spent 5 years, 2017, she was watching games at St James's Park. She'd done that to make sure that this PAF takeover can happen to Newcastle, and obviously when she has her shares in the football club, she earns a lot of money in that, so of course that's her benefit. She clearly cares about the football club now, without getting into any of the details behind the scenes, especially the women's team. She did a lot of investment and a lot of stuff towards the girls that doesn't actually benefit the PAF. She's done that because she cares about the girls, she cares about what the girls are wanting to do, and she was honestly lovely behind the scenes. Like, honestly, especially when the cameras were off her, you guys might think, well, you know what, this is just a stunt, or a woman for Saudi Arabia, this is someone that's just doing that to try and make them look good. Honestly, behind the scenes, she was lovely, like a genuine person, and she actually did care a lot about not just Newcastle United as a brand, but she cared about the girls on an individual basis, she cared about staff members, she cared about every single person, and that was 100 million times more than what Mike Ashley done. So straight away, I want to say thank you to Amanda. Obviously, she came in, she's done her job, and she'll leave her head held up high. I think she's had a good time in Newcastle. Even when Dan Ashworth was gone, obviously Dan Ashworth, our director of football, went in garden leave. It was actually Amanda Mehrdad's job to sort out everything regarding PSR. Minter and Anderson Lee were both there doing. I tell you what, I think they've done well with PSR. They had a lot of pressure on them. They had massive time constraints where they needed to be sorted out by the end of June. And I know you guys watching the thing, oh, why is Anderson went, why is Minter went? But listen, you got nearly £70 million for those two players. I think they've done well for themselves. Signing-wise, Lloyd Kelly was a good signing. He facilitated that one. The two goalkeepers, I know John Woody's a bit of a weird one, but the Nottingham Forest goalkeeper, again, not a bad signing, is he? I think they've done well for what they had to do. Obviously, Lewis Hall would have been there doing when the summer, when they've had all the contracts side of him sorted out. But in all honesty, Amanda's done a good job at Newcastle, and if this is the last summer, the impression is in social media that she sort of shares up now. She's going to be leaving this summer. I have to say, I think she's done a good job. I really don't think there's too much you can complain about. Obviously, the men have done quite well, got to the Champions League, lost in a cup final as our first cup final in my lifetime. They've done so well to get this position. I mean, 2 full seasons, 4th and 7th. And I know last season was a little disappointing with the fact we didn't get European football, but in all honesty, there's only one direction this club is going, and that's up. And don't even get me started on the women's team. Back-to-back promotions, first both times. This season, they've already signed Sunderland's best player, who is in our league now. Newcastle are looking to get 3 back-to-back promotions, and then they'll be going into the WSL, the highest league in women's football. And straight away, before you talk about Amanda on a personal level, Newcastle as a club is just projected so well. They look so much better now. They look like a club that's going to advance, and we're going to get the stage where we need to be. And with that, whether that's with Amanda or without Amanda, the club would do that now. The PAF will pump that money in, and that's their goal. I'm not sure how it's St James's Park, how it's going to work in a match day now, because obviously the PAF's not always going to be at the games. Who's going to be in Amanda Mehrdad's seat, I'm not sure. Who's going to be with the club on a week-by-week basis, again, I'm not sure. I don't know whose job that would be, but they probably will appoint somebody else that is going to replace Amanda. So I would have thought there'd be basically a new higher up, so there'll be someone that's on top of Paul Mitchell, will be on top of Downey, so there'll be someone that's above them. I don't know exactly what Rory would call it, just there'll be someone that would do the day-to-day duties now, I would have thought, on top of Amanda and Mehrdad. And I would assume it would be a new staff member. I couldn't imagine there'd be anyone now that would get the rank up to do that. So we'll see over time what happens, but it sounds like the end of Amanda, the end of Mehrdad, and it's a sad one, but it was always going to happen at some point. It doesn't matter if it's this summer, next summer, 2 summers' time, this is always something that is going to happen. They were never supposed to be here long term. They were here to get the takeover completed. They're here to have their shares in the club for a short-term basis, to then sell her shares long-term. That's how she makes her money, and then afterwards she'll go and potentially do it again for a different club, or if she wants to do something else, she can go and do that now. Obviously, time is a luxury, and I know for her, she needs that time. So what she's going to do next, she'll smash it surely. But in all honesty, it is what it is. You know, Newcastle are going to live without her. It's Amanda Stavia is not Newcastle United to make it as brutal as possible. She's not going to be the be-all and end-all of this football club. We'll move on without her. We'll do well without her. And I'm sure Newcastle now will have a great plan ahead of us. And yeah, it's good to see the takeover happen. That's what I'm happy about. You know, Amanda's done the takeover for us. That was her doing. Thank you. I wish you all the best in your future. And appreciate you obviously spending some time at Newcastle and treating everyone so well. So thank you all. Let me know your thoughts down below, guys. Hopefully I've tried to explain that somewhat. Still a bit tricky to get into, but I do fully believe that she's leaving. I think it's very believable if you look into our background, look at our finances. But take care though. I wish you all the best, and we'll see you for the match tonight.